Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we've been doing a little series of some little hover effects right here. Really easy to do. I've got one today which is an image swap with spin. And it's got a kind of morph effect because I've slowed things down a little bit. So we've got one image right there. When we hover over it, this other image is going to spin in. It's going to change color and sit there. When we take it off, it's going to do the opposite on the way out. Really easy to do. There's no coding or extra plugins involved with this today. It's all done using the inbuilt features of the Divi theme. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is enable the visual builder. And let's go down and I'll create a new row and we'll start from scratch. A little green button to create a new row. I'm going to pop 2 columns in there. Obviously you pop in whatever you want. And I'm going to pop an image module in. Divi comes as standard with all the light grey modules here. Plenty to get you to building just about any sort of site. If you're using WooCommerce, it'll give you an extra dozen to display your products also. So there's the image module. I'm going to pop that in there. Let's choose us an image. I guess I'll use that same one again. Well, let's use this one for fun. Let me move this across so we can see. There's our image. We've popped it in there. Now, if you've watched any of my previous videos on image swaps, you'll know that we've got one image sitting on top and another image residing in the actual column here. And this is the image that we'll be actually manipulating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. I'm going to go into my column. Green cog for the row there. We're working on column 1 right here. And let's pop a little background image in our column as well. Color gradient image video. And let's get something with a little bit of color here. Let's put the little boat one in there. Okay, obviously you can't see this because it's behind our little image here, and that's where the fun comes in, flipping these about. Now also, because I'm going to flip this image round, its corners are going to spill out of our row here, and I don't want to see them when they do that. So to stop that happening, still in our column settings, I'm going to go over to the advanced. I'm going to go down to visibility, and I'm going to say horizontal and vertical overflow. I'm going to switch these to hidden, so anything that falls out of the column will not be seen. Okay, well, let's save that. Now let's start playing with our little image we got here. Here's the image module, the little dark tab right here. First thing I want to do is just flip it round the other way. So let's go to our design. I'm going to go down to transform. And here we'll find things like scale, translate, rotate, skew, and transform origin, where you can move things around. So let's think about this. When we're hovering on it, or when we're not hovering on it, with the mouse not on it, I want it to be upside down, larger, and crazy colored. So common to most Divi modules, if you roll up, go over the dark writing, you'll find some little icons. If there's a little arrow there, you can set a hover and a regular state. Hover state's when your mouse is on it, obviously. Desktop state's when your mouse is not on it. So let's go to desktop state. I want this to be flipped completely the other way around, or pretty much so. So I'm going to hit transform rotate. I'm going to use this axis right here. I'm just going to flip the image pretty much on its back. Something like that. And I might scale it up a little bit too. So I'm going to go over to the scale, which is this one, make it bigger or smaller. And again, for the desktop state, I'll make it a lot bigger. Great. Now for the hover state, I want it to be back where it was, which is 100%. So when we're hovering over it, it'll flip from being 300% bigger to regular size. As long as you've got that little chain checked right there, it'll do both sides at once for you. Okay, and we also want to flip it back up the other way. So desktop state, we're flipped over there. Regular state, I want this back to 0 degrees. and just put in the 0, it'll put the degrees in for you. You can either roll it, type in a value, and you can fine tune with the little buttons there. That should work for us. So on desktop, it's going to be upside down and the wrong way around, and then when we hover over it, it's going to be like this. But when it's actually on the desktop, we don't want to see it at all, because we want to see that image that's underneath it. So let's start playing with the filters and give it the effect that we want it to. So I'm going to set back to desktop. I'm still in the design tab of the image settings. I'm going to close up transform. I'm going to go down to my filters. And again, hover over the dark writing, you've got a little arrow. Let's take this, let's make the hue different, opposite of what it should be. Something crazy like this. And again, for the desktop, remember to hover over each one. You need to do this for each one, hit the little arrow. Desktop saturation, I'm going to pull up all the way. Brightness, we could try that. Well, let's leave that. Let's pull up the contrast. Yeah, that's pretty crazy looking right there. And you can actually invert it if you want to. And again, hit the little arrow. We're on desktop. Yeah, that is pretty crazy right there. Okay. Now when it rolls back down, hover state, I want to take that down to 0, regular state. Contrast, hover, I want to take that down to regular contrast, 100%. Saturation, again, when we hover on it, desktop is 200%, hover, want that back down to normal, 100%. Same with the hue. So desktop wants to be crazy colors. Hover, want it to be normal. So we're looking at the normal picture right there. Okay, and the default time it takes to go from desktop to hover with the Divi theme is 300 milliseconds, which is pretty quick, might work for you. But for drama, I want to slow this down a little bit. So still in that image, let's go over to our advanced, go down to transitions, transition duration. I'm going to slow it down to about 2 seconds. And if that's not enough for you, just type in the value you want here. You can put in 3 seconds if you want, simply by typing it in, whatever value you want there. Don't want any delay, want it to start happening as soon as they put their mouse on it. Again, for my transition speed curve, for all my hover effects, I tend to use the ease in and ease out. They're all slightly different, so check them out, but that's the one I go to for my hover effects. Let's save our changes. Okay, so that's kind of what we want, but we need to make it disappear when we're not hovering over it. So let's go back to the design, back to the filters again. And if we roll down, we'll find opacity. Now that we've finished coloring it and doing what we want, we can set it to how we want it. So hover state, I don't want to see it at all. So again, hover over. So desktop state is we don't want to see it at all, I should say. So we just got our picture of the little boat there. Then when we hover over it, I want it to be fully visible. So we've got our picture of the mountains there. So let's save the changes and see what we've got going on here. Save draft or publish if you're ready. And exit the Visual Builder. Alright, there's our little image of the boat. And when we hover over it, it's got that crazy coloured thing coming in. And we got our picture of the mountains right there. Very simple but effective effect right there. So there you have it, guys. There's a little image swap with spin. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.